The Rockford IceHogs return home to BMO Harris Bank Center tonight to welcome in the Cleveland Monsters and kick off a 3-game homestand. Hello, everybody. Joseph Zakshevsky once again with you alongside head coach Derek King for the Forest City Diagnostic Imaging Diagnosis of the game. And Coach King, you come away from the road up in Winnipeg with 2 straight victories over the Manitoba Moose. I know that was a big confidence builder for them. Now you're back on home ice. How does that translate?
Well, it's always nice to come home and play your next game at home after winning a couple on the road. So we got some good teams coming in here. It's going to be hard to get points off them, but I like the task in hand, and I think we can do a good job with this.
The IceHogs taking on Cleveland, Grand Rapids, and then San Antonio over this nice little 3-game homestand. A lot of teams in action last night, and it kind of paints the picture. It makes it a little bit more muddier, if you will, in terms of how the points are divvied up. You had a playoff spot, now you're outside looking in again, now you're trying to jump back in. Kind of creates for a pretty tense environment.
Yeah, and like we talked about earlier, probably the last month is our playoffs are starting early. So I think the guys realize that. I think we showed that we can play a type of playoff hockey. The big thing here is just showing up, making sure we're ready to go for 3 periods. And if we do that, at least we give ourselves an opportunity to get in the playoffs.
Well, diving into the nitty-gritty of this one, the IceHogs would lose goaltender Kevin Lonkin in that first period of the last game just this past Thursday up in Winnipeg. How's he doing? It was an old injury you mentioned during the post game, but I'd imagine hopefully he's on the up and up.
Yeah, he's fine. He's just going to see the doctor. He got an MRI, and they're just going to go over it and see what he has to do. I believe it's probably just strengthening again like he had to, and hopefully he's not out too long. He was playing well for us, and we'll go from there.
IceHogs coming back to home base, too, in hopes of a lot of players that did not make the trip to Winnipeg could jump back in. You mentioned Nick Mutry, Chad Chris, guys that could potentially make their return. How are they looking to restack this roster for you?
They're looking good. They skated today. They're going to make sure they get a full practice before we put them back in the lineup. That'll be Monday. And then we'll just have to, get the rotation going again. And guys will be sitting out, but not for the wrong reasons, for the right reasons, just because we got too many bodies.
Now the IceHogs getting ready for the Cleveland Monsters this evening, a team that you saw already 3 times before, but you got to go back to late December, the last time you had them in this building. I know it's been a while. A last non-division opponent, probably nice to see some fresh faces again on their side before diving right back into the Central.
Yeah, and Cleveland's one of those teams that has our number. They're a good hockey team, and obviously they're still in a spot where they need to get some wins also. So I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good test for us, and I think we're up for the task.
The IceHogs also seen a familiar face that's now their leading scorer on the other side, and defenseman Adam Clendenning. You coached him as well. He seems like whether it's on the power play 5-on-5, he sets up points. I'd imagine a lot of the puck goes through him. How do you plan on neutralizing him and that Cleveland attack?
We're going to have 2 guys on him all night, and as long as he doesn't have a point there at the end of the game, it's a win-win for us. No, he's a special player. He's a great guy, great teammate. It's the kind of guy you want on your team and in your locker room. But we know how good he is, so we're going to have to really key on him.
Now the IceHogs, I'm imagining a big key is getting off to a quick start against this club. They were in Grand Rapids last night, game tonight, and then tomorrow they're a 3-game in 3 days. So they're a team that's probably trying to play as simple as possible.
Yeah, kind of like how we have to do it. We have to play simple games when we go on the road, and we have to play simple games coming back off a road trip. So I think we just manage the puck well, clog things up in the neutral zone, stay out of the penalty box, play and be aggressive on our forecheck, and we'll see where it takes us.
And since this is the 4th and final meeting between these 2 clubs, is it more focused internally of sticking to your game systems versus what make Cleveland be throwing at you at various times?
No, it's just we got to play our game. The big thing is being consistent with our game and playing it for 3 periods and not straying from it. Whether you're up or down goals, you just stick to the program and see what happens.
Coach, I think you already touched upon it with a lot of those big keys, but for you, in your mind, what's going to have to happen for the IceHogs the full 60 minutes to be successful tonight?
We got to play in their end. We got to play mostly below the goal line. Like we always talk about, that's where our offense starts, below their goal line, which is funny to say that, but it actually works.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. Good luck tonight against the Cleveland Monsters.
Thank you.
Head coach Derek King joining us for the Forest City Diagnostic Imaging Diagnosis of the game as the IceHogs wrapping up their 4-game season series against the Cleveland Monsters tonight and also begin a nice little 3-game homestand. Let's get you back to the action. You're listening and watching Rockford IceHogs Hockey on the Hogs Broadcast Network.